What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I guess we have another Black Myth Wukong controversy, although we don't really know who to blame yet. This is just very weird, and right now, it comes off more as like a console warrior thing than it does come off actual fact. However, Xbox is also maybe to blame here as well, because they issued a very interesting statement on, and I think they were kind of asked, or they were responding to, Black Myth skipping out on Xbox at launch. Now, the thing is, Black Myth said why it was skipping out on Xbox at launch, right? They say word for word, actually, there's only one word that's important, optimization. It was because of optimization. And Xbox comments, and here's what they say. We can't comment on the deals made by our partners with other platform holders, but we remain focused on making Xbox the best platform for gamers, and great games are at the center of that. So that does sound like an accusation that PlayStation, and it's got to be PlayStation, right? Like, who else could you be talking about? It feels like an accusation that PlayStation swooped in and did something with Black Myth, and then Black Myth is now console exclusive, at least for launch, and then we'll see when it comes to Xbox. They don't say it outright, but the hints in the first sentence indicates, well, if they can't comment, but it's like, well, you can't comment on it. Well, you kind of are commenting on it right now. That's number one. Number two, it puts, right now, I guess it's up to you to decide who you want to throw blame at, right? But I will say this, if it turns out to be that this is true, then I will say, yeah, the way that Black Myth has handled it has been, absolutely terrible, right? Because what they basically do is they throw Xbox under the bus, right? By saying, well, we can't put on Xbox day one because of optimization issues. So they're basically throwing the consoles under the bus. Now, again, I guess not entirely or not like absolutely specifically. You could say, well, some of the blame lies with them, right? Because it's their job to optimize it for these consoles. But there's always been the debate of the Series S, and you've had developers come out to say that the Series S slows them down, and not every developer, but you have had some, right? So it kind of just continues to paint the picture that maybe it's the Series S's fault. And that is, I think, the mentality or the thought process by to say conspiracy theorists, that part, I guess, isn't really conspiracy, right? That's just literally going down the line of, if Xbox is literally calling out that PlayStation made a deal, this is the ramifications. The ramifications are Black Myth handled it, I think, extremely wrong with, they could have just said, or maybe legally they're not allowed to say, but, they could say, well, look, we made a deal with PlayStation, we can't do it. Instead, they're actually throwing, basically the consoles under the bus to kind of cover for them, right? But, that is to assume that the Xbox thing is correct. And the Xbox thing was second, whereas Black Myth, they did it first, right? Like, when they announced everything, you have the release, you show it off again, the collector's edition, all that jazz. They said they weren't like shying away from it, right? They said flat out, and it's in their, I think, FAQs and all that the game is being delayed on Xbox for optimization. I don't know, at this point, you're either calling Black Myth like flat out liars. That's actually what that would be. You'd be saying that is a flat out lie. It's not optimization. It's because of an exclusivity deal. You either have to do that, or you have to question, why did Xbox make such a weird statement? Because, the second half of it is just like corporate talk, right? We want to make Xbox the best place to play. We've heard that 2 trillion times from everybody, not just Xbox, right? But the first part of it, you can't comment on like partnership deals. Well, who said there's a deal in place? You know what I mean? Nobody said that. It seems like you're the only one saying it. So that's the thing too. Like, PlayStation hasn't said anything, and also, is this even legal? Can you do these very, very quiet behind the scenes deals in the way that this is, right? Because you announced it for these consoles. I feel like there'd be a loss. And I'm not a lawyer. I don't know any of this stuff, right? This is just pure speculation. But if you're so close, like you're like 2 months out. And even when they announced the thing, right, you're like 2.5 months out. 2.5 months. You expect the game to come out on all places day one. That was like the guarantee, right? That was the promise. And then 2.5 months before, Sony swoops in, makes an exclusivity deal, and you take it off the table. Can you even do that? Have we seen that before? Pal World was an Xbox thing, but that was an Xbox thing, I assume, far before, 2.5 months before the game came out. I really don't know when the last time we saw that was. Now, I don't pay attention, I guess, to that like slimy, under the radar, so literally under the radar, because they're doing it in secret, side of the industry. So I don't know. It's either they did it incredibly in secret, they did it incredibly close to launch, they did it very quietly, Nobody's speaking about it. Black Myth lied about it. Xbox is the one telling the truth. PlayStation's just not even saying anything, even though it's their console exclusive now. It's either that, or, for whatever reason, Xbox went off the deep end and issued a statement like this, and the real reason is literally what Black Myth said it was, like 2 weeks ago. So there's the drama and the dilemma right now. Honestly, it is very interesting because it wasn't on my bingo board, for this game to be talked about. So we'll see what happens over the next really couple weeks, because I don't think they can just let this thing go at this point. Let me know what you think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.